Hi everyone, welcome to science today. We are going to do the experiment, Celery Experiment. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put water in these glasses, put some food coloring in each of them, put the celery in, and see what happens. Hopefully at the end of it, we'll see something happen. So the first thing I want to go through is the science experiment overview that you got in your packets, which is just, of course, again, it goes through the different steps. The first step, observe. The second step, predict. The third step, explore. And then the last step is review. So these are just kind of things that you can do while your child watches this video or when they're actually doing the experiment themselves, like if you have the material. So that is that. And then the next thing you got was the scientific method packet, which it says, just goes through the scientific method, our steps, the observe, the predict, the explore, the check. Observe what materials are needed, predict what you think it's going to happen, explore, touch, feel, smell, taste if you're able to. Actually do the experiment, and then check to see if your predictions were correct and what actually happened during the experiment. So I also gave you these pages in the packet also, which are the steps to the scientific method. So again, observe, predict, explore, and check. And so that is that. And then I also gave you guys the experiment itself. So if we are ready, let's do this experiment. But before I do it, it's going to be a little different today because this experiment takes a while to show that what's happening to it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the experiment, and then we're going to wait 20 minutes to see what happens. And then I'll come back and we'll explain what happened. And then I will probably keep them in the glasses overnight and show you during morning meeting tomorrow what happened and if anything did happen. So let's do the experiment. So the first step we need to do is the step of observe. Wonder, ask questions, discuss the materials that are needed for the experiment. So what do we need? First, it says we need 4 glass jars. So I don't have any glass jars, so I did 4 glasses, drinking glasses. So if you don't have jars, that's okay. I figured it out, okay, I think I'm gonna have to just use regular glasses. So 4 glasses, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need celery. I have 4 stalks of celery. Water. I put some water in my measuring cup, food coloring, and a knife. And make sure only your parents or an adult is using the knife. Okay? So that is our first step. The second step is that we need to predict what is going to happen. This experiment is called the Celery Experiment. We're putting water and food coloring in a glass and putting the celery in and just waiting to see what happens. So what do you think is going to happen? What will it do? Will celery soak up food coloring water, or will nothing happen? So right now I want you to go and predict. What do you think is going to happen? Pick either one of those, okay? And then the next step is explore. This is where we're actually going to do the experiment. We need to look, we need to listen, we need to taste, we need to feel, and we need to smell. All right? So let's do the experiment. I'm going to read off the directions of the experiment. It says, first, gather your materials. Check, we already did. Step 2 is cut about 1 inch off of the bottom of the 4 celery. So this is about 1 inch. So all right, did that. So I have my celery stalks. Next, third step, it says fill each jar or glass about halfway with water. So, do this. Oh, of course, I make a mess. If you're doing this, make sure you have some paper towel handy. Make sure that they're halfway. All right, it's even enough. Let me get some paper towel because I made a mess. Okay, so we have our 4 glasses of water. Now it says to then drip a few drops of food coloring into each glass. So I have, the colors I have are red, blue, green, and yellow. So I'm gonna stagger. I'm gonna put green, red, blue, yellow. All right, first I'll use green, put a couple of drops in. Put a couple drops of red. Couple drops of blue, and I've used a lot of blue for all of our experiments lately, so it's not as much in there. And then a couple yellow drops. Kind of looks more orange. We'll see. Do you think it's gonna go to yellow? Yeah, maybe. All right. Guess I'm gonna use, just mix it around. Good. So we have our green cup, our red, our blue, and our yellow. Wow, that yellow really became yellow. All right, now it says stick the celery stalks in the colored water and let them sit for 20 minutes. And then it says step 5 tip, rip open 1 or 2 of the celery stalks to better see how, okay, not gonna say that. All right, so now I'm just gonna put these in the celery stalks. So I'll put this one in the green, this one in the red, this one in the blue, and then this one in the yellow. And then come back and we'll be back in 20 minutes to see what happens. All right. All right, guys, welcome back. It's been 20 minutes. The celery has been soaking in the colored water for 20 minutes. So let me see what the next step it says. It says, rip open 1 or 2 of the celery stalks to better see how the color travels through the stalks. So, I'll do green first. don't see anything on this green one. At the bottom, you can see there's a little bit. So let me put that back in there. Let me try the red. The red, yeah, you can see the red is already starting to get in there. Let's see if I can rip it open a little bit and see if it's gone. No, it doesn't look like it's really, it's a little bit. So you can see that it's soaking up the water, and with the colored water, you can see that that's how it's getting soaked up. So it says, come back to the celery after 20 minutes and check out the stalks. What do you see? Colors should start to appear in little dots on the ends of them. Yeah, so we see that. So what's going on? Like, how is this happening? So when a plant is thirsty, you water it, right? And the roots are starting to absorb the water from the soil, right? So, but how does the water travel from the roots to the rest of the plant? The answer is by tiny little tubes inside the stem, and which is called xylem. I think it's XYLEM. That's what the tiny little tubes are, and they draw the water up from the roots like a straw. By a process called capillary action. And capillary action is what actually happens when water climbs up things like this, like the celery stalks. The little tubes, the xylem, is the little tube that is inside the celery. And the capillary action is actually the water traveling up. So, water is actually sticky, but not sticky like glue. But you know when you wash your hands and the water, there's still droplets on your hands. That's what it means by it's sticky. So it sticks up to the tube, and then it slowly starts to climb up the tube. So by the end, gradually it'll go all the way up. So what we're gonna do, since we didn't really see very much yet, I am going to leave them in this water overnight. And tomorrow morning, when I do morning kneading, we'll come back to this and we'll do check, the last step tomorrow morning, and see what happens. So, I guess we'll see what happens in the morning. And what we're really hoping to see, since you guys already know about the xylem and capillary action, is that hopefully, because the yellow and the green don't have leaves, the blue and the red do. So hopefully by tomorrow morning, the leaves will change color. So this one will be blue and this one will be red. So we're really hoping that that's what happens, and that's what we're gonna look for. So tomorrow, check in with me on morning meeting and we will see what happens, all right? You guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.